Hey, what's up, everybody? I want to talk about University of Nebraska and their ideas of doing things totally different from what people don't even see, unless you live through it. I go by sources. Not everybody's perfect, but I trust my sources. Okay. You know, you look at their history. You can go on Google all day. It tells you everything there, and that's your proof. 130 years. Wait a minute. Almost 200 years. Sports. Okay, almost. They have never once hired an African American as a head coach. Now they've had them as small end coaches and little things and stuff like that, but nothing major like defensive coordinator or offensive coordinator or even basketball top assistant. Well, wait a minute. They had one top assistant. They had to put him on an interim basis, but obviously his job was not renewed. And that was Jimmy Williams back in the Danny Nee era in the 90s. I'm talking about Nebraska football, the highest paying sport of all of the United States of America. Well over 300 colleges, Division I sports. Big Ten, one of the highest paid market of all the major sports, all the major conferences. There's 5 of them. Okay. And being in the largest market of all sports, you have never once hired an African American or a major minority like Hispanic or Italian as a head coach. What's the problem here? Now, I mean, it's the same problem. I mean, you had 5 coaches since Tom Osborne retired, okay? And you passed them over for guys, and what did it get you? Nowhere. You gone to one national title game and got your ass whooped by Maryland. No, by Miami, I'm sorry. Miami. You run Frank Solich to the ground. You get Bill Callahan. He wants to change the culture. Didn't work out. Run him out. There's 2. You get Bo Pelini, most fieriest guy, and in my honest opinion, probably your best successful coaches up to this point. You run him out because he has a rant and he speaks his mind, and I don't say I blame him. Wait a minute, Bo Pelini is Italian, so I'll give you that pass. But I'm talking about African Americans here, black. Never give one a head coaching opportunity. Never. Turner Gill, one of your most successful quarterbacks of all time, next to Tommy Frazier and Scott Frost. You know, it's all good. Didn't hire him. There are sources that believe the reason why of the hiring, they said that Turner Gill sucks. He doesn't suck. He just didn't have the cards he had to dealt with that he had a chance to recruiting. I mean, yeah, did get a chance at Kansas. Didn't work out. Look at Kansas now. They're still losing. They lost to Nicholls State. They paid $400,000 to lose to Nicholls State. Who the hell loses to Nicholls State? Okay. But that's another subject for another day. The talk was, the reason why Turner Gill was passed over for Bo Pelini was because during the interview process, it was good, and they went through backgrounds, check everything, and didn't want to hire him. They didn't say why, but sources believe is because he's married to a white woman, interracial relationship. They frown at that shit, okay, and that's not cool. If you look at the whole history of Nebraska, especially Omaha and Lincoln and all that, Omaha's never had a black mayor. Lincoln's never had a black mayor. There's no substantial positions for blacks out there in that state, but yet people still want to live there because I don't know, they just want to live there. I don't know. I'll be honest with you. I even frown at my brother-in-law and sister all the time. Why did you choose Omaha for? They said there wasn't no jobs in Des Moines, but jobs are out in Omaha. They just had to deal with it. It was just a nice drive to get away. I'll give them a pass on that. And the Omaha people actually is not really a bad town. It's just they just do things totally different. I mean, blacks get treated totally different out there. and I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. And there's a policy out there that they have that won't allow any blacks to coach on that team. They won't do it. You can have Charlie Strong. You can have David Shaw. David Shaw probably right now is probably, and Willie Taggart is probably one of the most successful African American coaches right now. If that Nebraska job came up there, do you think they'd reach out to David Shaw? Hell no. You think they reach out with? Hell no. They're doing us a favor anyway. What you guys don't realize is y'all doing us a favor. Why should we be in a place where we're not wanted? Look at Tennessee, for example. Tennessee had Quanzo Markin as a coach for about 3 or 4 seasons. And you can go on ESPN and everything, all of it, the things you can read into it. It says there were times that the trustees and the alumni didn't even acknowledge him being there. It's like he wasn't even wanted there. So why should you be in a place that you're not feel welcomed? There's some corruption going on there. Yeah, a lot of schools have a lot of problems. I get it. Everybody's going to have problems. But this is a big problem that's been going on for almost 200 years. We've never hired an African-American coach for any of your sports. It doesn't have to be football, but all your sports. You have 33 sports, and you never hired a black man. Never. Okay? You did the minority hire of women, and about Pliny, he's Italian, and yeah, there were probably a few others. But there's still something missing now. Now, I don't want to talk. I'm not interested in talking about Montana. I'm not interested in talking about Nevada. We're talking about a major market school in a major conference that has not done this before, and that's terrible, man. And everybody says, I had a friend, and she goes, "You have a lot of hatred towards Nebraska." I don't have a hatred towards Nebraska at all. I've been treated pretty nice when I have friends and stuff, but from a business perspective, I don't like how blacks are treated. I've had a couple of friends, even a couple of family members, try to look for a real good house, and realtors talk them all stupid as if they couldn't afford it. And my friends have 800 plus credit, couldn't get them in. They just want to fandangle things. Well, you want to live over here. Just because you're black, you figure you should stay with the blacks? No one should be talking that kind of business. And it happens here in Iowa. It happens here in other states. Those people should be fired, personally. I mean, if I was to walk in there and you're going to just stereotype me that you don't think I can afford that area out there, you got me fucked up. But it's bullshit, though. Okay? But back to this Nebraska thing. I personally think I've written letters to the president. They don't listen. I'll write again, and I'll even show you his answer. I'll prove it to you. I still got the old email. Okay? It was answering a question with a question. Okay? But they got this policy. It's just not acceptable. They don't want to do it. All these other Big Ten schools have at least hired one black coach. That's good enough for me. And hopefully down the road they'll hire another African American coach somewhere. But at least they did it one time. That's good enough for me. All the major schools in that conference, all the 13 out of 14 schools have done it. Illinois is the latest school to do it. Up to that point, they never had an African American coach. They had Lovie Smith now. He's in his 3rd year, but he's on the hot seat though. He may not fulfill his 5-year contract. I don't know. And they look kind of bad again this year. But anyway, guys, make your comments. I mean, I know I'm going to get a lot of heat. I know a lot of people might think I'm delusional, but I think I'm some damn racist, and I'm not. I'm just trying to point out the facts. I'm all about equality. I'm all about giving people a fair chance. If I was the board of directors or anything, if I had to say in that matter, I'll tell them straight up, straight down, yeah, go look for a black coach. Make the decision fair. If he's not good, you better give me a damn good reason why he did not get the job. But that situation with Turner Gill was fucked up because his wife was white. That's fucked up. And I don't like that shit. I like the Colin Kaepernick thing. That's a racist thing there too. Why? Because he was protesting against things against for the people of color and women. But Nike's got his back, and I love that. I love that, man. So I'm not going to protest the flag, but I'm going to do it in a different way. I'll still stand. I'll still listen and sing it up, but I'm still going to speak out. And there's nothing wrong with kneeling. There's nothing wrong doing anything. It's not like there's nothing wrong kneeling with the flag, man, because he was still listening to it. I'm gonna tell you what's the definition of not listening to the flag or disrespecting the flag. Not being in the locker room, putting your headphones on, squaring off and staring out, stuff like that. But that's my take, man. Hit the comments. I don't know. You guys do what you want to do. I'm gonna read them, and I'm gonna come after you too. So let's do it. Peace.